Hi everyone and welcome to another pick a card reading. Today we have a special subject. What is your greatest strength in the now and tips and guidance on how to use it? Now before I get into the reading, I would just like to explain the title. This reading doesn't take a look at your general greatest strength as in your blessings that you were born with or things that you learned to master or anything that you're very good at generally speaking, but rather this takes a look at what is empowered in your life right now in the present moment, even if that is something maybe not very specific to you most of the time. Even if it's something like a passive talent, a passive skill, a passive strength that only activates, let's say, at every blue moon. Or it can, of course, simply mean where you have a tactical advantage in your life right now that is also a strength. Now, the subject of this reading was inspired by the astrology of the present moment, of course, where we have a really beautiful and harmonious conversation in the sky where Pluto trines Mercury. Both of these planets speak from Earth signs, so Pluto is the strength, of course. And as I said, it can simply be a tactical advantage that is present in your life right now. And Mercury in the sign of Virgo, how to put it to good use. You know, our mental skills, our problem solving skills, our analytical mind, which can serve our greatest good. But of course, since Mercury moves so very quickly, that this energy won't last for long, so if we stay passive or choose not to take any action, we might not really benefit from this energy as much as we could have. So basically, this is the meaning of the now. The instructions are simple as always. Just take a look at the 4 piles of cards for a couple of seconds or as long as you need to, and then choose a pile which appeals to your intuitive senses the most. And this is one of those readings where more than one pile can be chosen. The timestamps for the 4 different interpretations can be found in the comments below and also in the description of this video. With this being said, thank you so much for being here and listening. And now let's get into the reading. Hello everyone who has chosen the first pile. The card depicting what your greatest strength is in the now is the Princess of Cups. Now in Rider-Waite Tarot, this is basically the Page of Cups. And what this card says, well, the greatest strength in your life right now is your emotional strength, your emotional power. But because, this is a page, a princess basically, that represents that it is more like a primordial expression of this energy. So it's not like profound emotional maturity due to life experience, but rather it is a very sharp emotional intelligence, intuition, inspiration, dreams, anything that has to do with the constructive element of water, either emotionally, spiritually, or as in inspiration and bright ideas. The Page of Cups / the Princess of Cups is also a very optimistic energy, very innocent, childlike, and children in general are always, optimistic by nature. They're always dreamy. They always tend to look at the bright side of things. That's why, spending time with children can cheer almost everyone up. And, the spirit of children just feeds everyone around them with this very specific sense of optimism, lightheartedness, playfulness, inspiration. How many times when children said something even funny or unusual or even weird, actually turned out to be some kind of truth that inspired the adults in the most positive ways possible. Or from a totally different perspective, when children, speak a truth, that which might not really be speakable by adults because of, let's say, moral reasons, ethical reasons, when children speak it, well, no one tends to get really offended, and everyone kind of takes it into consideration. So that's why this Princess of Cups / Page of Cups is like a very innocent, primordial, emotional energy that can truly come to your help in many situations, both in your life. But I also get this feeling that for many of you, it's not just you, but someone, important in your life who might benefit even more than you personally from this Page of Cups type of energy. Because ultimately, generally, the Page of Cups can represent friendship, it can represent unconditional emotional support, it can represent a really nice gesture that makes another person feel better or appreciated or, optimistic. And at the same time, let's not forget that the keyword here is actually intuition. Just emotionally or through an emotional intelligence, knowing, feeling, being able to just sense what to do or what the right choice is, what might be the best course of action. And last but not least, this is also a really good artistic kind of energy, especially if you're a young artist or an amateur artist or someone who just started putting their artistic spirit, creativity to good use much more seriously than before in their lives. In certain cases, especially those of you who are really, really into spirituality, maybe practice magic or have, let's say, psychic skills of your own, this Princess of Cups can represent a feminine type of spirit guide, which can be like a spirit of nature, a water spirit, a naiad, or even a female ancestor. Someone who is really inspiring you, especially through your dreams and emotional states right now. And the way you can tell that this spirit is around you or very active in your life right now is that maybe you have certain moments when perhaps something very, very simple or not even magical that you see and feel for just a moment, it really gets you into a transcendent state, if this makes sense. Let me just give you an example, because this is so very hard to describe otherwise. Like you're walking in the park and a shade of a tree or a leaf or the sunlight, entering, casting through the branches of the tree, that visual expression, if this makes sense, without any kind of rational explanation, just sends you into a very deep, transcendent state when you just feel so very aligned with the great mystery of all, but due to that very small and perhaps insignificant gesture that just catches your eye, or it can be a flower, it can be a plant, it can be even a smell, it can be simply the sunlight touching and reflecting in a body of water, a lake or a stream or a river, or simply any kind of water, even water in a container. It is where you're just for a moment sucked into a deep, mystical, magical, nostalgic, even deja vu kind of state, where even though in physical reality it may last just a second, you cannot perceive time when you're in that trance or that state. And if you're wondering what this is, well, this is the most powerful kind of synchronicity, because let's just be honest, maybe 200 years ago, there weren't any clocks which could show 1111 or numbers or plates or writing or anything. This is how synchronicity actually entered into the lives of people. When they saw something that just caught their eye, their attention, just steered them into a state of magic. And that's how they knew that something was going on. But anyway, let's see what all of this emotional energy, intuitive energy, regardless in which way it manifests in your life, is good for in the present moment. Well, first we have the Two of Swords reversed, the King of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Now this is kind of big, because regardless if you are using this energy in your life or in the life of someone who you truly love, for example, Princess of Cups, your best friend, your child, a family member, your sister, so basically someone who is a permanent member of your life, well, either you or them have to make a very important choice, a very important decision regarding your close future, especially this autumn and the winter, of how you're going to execute certain plans. This can be job related, professional acquisitions, an investment, something like truly practical that you need to do, and whatever that is has been pending for some time now. The Wheel of Fortune is reversed, so you plan to do this maybe ever since the beginning of the year, but it just didn't come together. Or for others, this is like necessity. You need to turn your fate around, if this makes sense. But I also get the feeling that maybe you're an artist, or you maybe just started your own business, or sharing your art, working for yourself, maybe a project, maybe a collaboration, or maybe you just need to reinvent yourself. You need to add something new, something ingenious, something which is also practical to tune up your business, to tune up your, for example, influx of people who view your art or who you're, selling to. This is also perfectly valid if you're like a spiritualist, a tarot reader, astrologer, or anyone who works with people and their intuition and also their emotional intelligence is the key factor to this. But it can be absolutely any kind of project, any kind of business, any kind of plan where the time is very fast approaching that you need to make a choice or implement something or come up with the best possible solution. As in, you may have the big idea, the King of Swords, you may see the big picture, you might already know what you want to do, how you want to do it, but you need the fine details. You need the execution strategy, if this makes sense. And also because the Wheel of Fortune is reversed, you might not have that much time left, to play around with options, ask other people, or basically go back to the drawing board and start from scratch. So you're kind of out of time. And until the end of the winter, you need to have a safe and sound plan. You need this King of Swords to be already in execution, to already begin the work. Everything has to already be in motion. And you might really feel a little bit blocked right now because this Two of Swords reversed. It's not that you don't know what you want to do or what you should choose, but rather you don't know the right measure. You might not really trust your own judgment, or you might have way too much advice in your life, way too many options, and you just don't know what the right path would be in order for you to get where exactly you need to be, as in to turn that Wheel of Fortune around so that project, that plan, that purpose of yours is fast on track and going strong. That is what you really, really need for you to already be living the big picture, if this makes sense. And as I said, this may also be maybe not you personally, but someone very, very close to you who is in this situation. But in either case, this Princess of Cups represents that this time you genuinely have to trust your intuition. You have to trust what your feelings tell you. This is where you can't really rationalize a lot, because as you see, this King of Swords is in upright position. So whatever rational process needed to be done, you have already done that. and the rest is just a matter of maybe preference, what resonates more, what resonates less, maybe the timing when you're ready to do this, that, ABC, the steps of your, executing your plan. So the only thing that can help you right now is your intuition, is your feelings. For example, if it's timing, when the time is right, you will just feel it, you will just know it. Or if you have to choose, for example, your logo or a date or anything like that, you will just feel what is better for you right now. And as I said, if it's not you but a loved one, well, then your intuition can really help them, inspire them, and you can give them that childlike belief, that childlike optimism, that emotional support that they need to be strong on their journey and simply turn that wheel of fortune around. Because, regardless if this is you or someone who you love dearly, everything is already in motion. Everything is already, set up. And even if your idea, your plan, your project, whatever this may be, takes you into uncharted territories, and chances are for a lot of people it's pretty uncharted where they're going, well, just take this situation as the first day of school. You didn't know what to expect, emotionally speaking, because mentally, your friends or your parents or anyone else might have told you that you have to do this, this, and this. This will be the schedule. This is how school looks like, your daily activities, etc. But emotionally, you didn't really know what to expect. You didn't know how you would react to anything that has to do with something so new. So the same way, you just have to trust your feeling, your emotion, your intuition, that you just have to be in it and just do it, go with the flow, and everything is gonna be more than okay. And regarding, Two of Swords reverse, the choices, the fine details, the options, the preferences, this is where you just have to take into consideration, perhaps there is no right or wrong. Everything that you might choose might lead exactly to the same outcome, to the same path. So just choose with your feeling, choose with your intuition. And if you might be that person who might experience this Princess of Cups energy as a spirit guide, as those deeply transcendent moments that just come randomly, well, that is where that spirit guide, that spiritual energy is empowering your intuition. It is like pumping a lot of ethereal water into your being, so that you will know exactly where to flow, if this makes sense. And last but not least, for some people, this Princess of Cups represents a lot of ideas, inspiration, maybe things that come to you in dreams or in the most unusual ways possible. And if you are very busy right now, you just simply can't put all of those to good use, well, then be sure to journal it, write it down, or somehow immortalize it preserve it as you would a seed, which you cannot plant right now, but you can plant it like next season, next year, whenever the time is right, the soil is fertile, so to speak. Because whatever you're inspired with right now, may that be artistic inspiration or anything at all, even if it's for another person, not necessarily for you, be sure to keep it, preserve it, because that will be a massive help in the future, in a period perhaps where you might use this inspiration much better than you would in the present moment. So this is what the cards have to say for you, pile number 1. So this Pluto might represent the power of your unconscious mind, which acts as a great, great benefactor right now, increasing your intuition, your emotional intelligence, and giving you that childlike, innocent belief to just follow that which feels right and just succeed with it. So thank you so much for listening. Until next time, bye for now. Hello everyone who has chosen the second pile. The card which represents where your biggest strength lies in the now is the Empress. Now, I do believe that for you guys, this Empress either represents that you are a mother and right now your child or one of your children either is going through a difficult phase in their life. Maybe if it's not difficult, maybe it's just complicated, or they are really struggling with something that maybe you might not directly be able to help them with. So, it represents your maternal power, the emotional Venus. The Empress is the representation of Venus, the emotional nurturing power of every single mom in the universe out there. And because your child is going through either a complicated or difficult, challenging, whatever time, this is where that maternal strength of yours is greatly hyped. For other people, this Empress represents your self-worth, especially regarding either a gift or a talent of yours, something that actually represents your greatest strength, but not in the now, generally all throughout your lifetime. So it might be the case that for you guys, your greatest strength in life is actually empowered in the now. So these two are one and the same right now. And you are called to use it, but from a, let's say, more psychological perspective than physical one. I'll get to this in more detail in just a little bit, because this Empress naturally can also represent physical beauty, the virtue, the strength, the divine gift of beauty, where for a couple of days maybe you are really, really attractive on a soul level. And why I say on a soul level, well, even if you might be attractive all your life, all the time physically, not every day or not every period is that physical attraction empowered, activated in such a way that, Venus represents the passive attraction. So that which we need finds us like a magnet. So right now your physical beauty and basically whatever makes you beautiful as a soul, as a being, is activated. So you have a greater magnetism about you. In any case, regardless of what your personal situation is, it is still basically the Venus, the Venusian type of energy. May it be like motherhood and the nurture and the care and the emotional power that a mother possesses, or someone's virtue, self-esteem, belief in themselves, in their dignity, in their integrity, in their inner Venus, regardless if you're a man or a woman. Or it can, for other people, it can be basically everything that the inner Venus might need, and that makes you magnetic to that need to find you, the fulfillment of that need to find you right now in this present moment. And how you should use this empowerment right now? Well, before anything, I would just like to translate what the cards say for those of you for whom this Empress represents the mother type of energies. Now for you, as I said in the beginning of the reading, it might be your child who is going through some really difficult or complicated time. This Seven of Coins represents either that they made mistakes in the past and now they're reaping the rewards, but in a negative sense, so bad karma. For example, some children might have been skipping their duties, responsibilities towards themselves, towards their, maintaining their physical integrity. Maybe they were like using certain substances in excess and now they're, in trouble because of that. Or they might have been ignoring their material lives, work, studies, etc., skipped school. And also they might be in great difficulty because of that. And the Eight of Coins reversed. Well, you might fear in the heart of a mother, of course, that this might have already greatly compromised their futures. And the Three of Swords, reversed. What are you gonna do? Because this isn't just irrational fear. This isn't just heartache, heartbreak. This isn't just the suffering of a mother, which is due to, like overthinking and stuff like that. You're actually very, very justified to be afraid, to feel the heartache, to suffer, because whatever you think, whatever you fear is real. So basically, what this Empress can do for you right now, well, I do believe that in all of the universe, at least in the Earth sphere where we live now, there isn't a greater power than the love of a mother. And even if we look at the animal kingdom, well, you know how certain animal mothers care for their children and what they're capable of doing to protect their young. That speaks for itself. Sometimes it actually defies the laws of nature. So, maternal love at least is really not specific to our species alone. So at that time, in the now, basically you are also connected to Mother Nature, the greatest mother of all. And it is her power that courses through you. It is her power that is feeding that inner Venus, the maternal Venus. So you can use this love power that you possess, the power of maternal love, to basically defy all logic of reality and wish that well-being or the help that your child needs to just miraculously appear in their lives. And because you're so empowered right now, as I said, both by the celestial mother, if that makes sense, the celestial Venus, and also the mother of the earth, that is like the heavens and the earth joining forces. And it is within your earthly motherly heart that this sacred union of the celestial and the earthly takes place. It's like almost like a holy trinity. So right now, for a few days, maybe even weeks, you really have this maternal power to ask for or manifest or pray for a miracle in the life of your child right now. And it can really turn everything around, because look, the the Three of Swords is reversed. So that means that the heartache is gonna heal. That means that you are gonna avoid that which you fear the most. And the Eight of Coins reversed. If the future of your child is compromised right now, it is blocked, well, you can turn it around. There is a future, there is a bright future, because the Seven of Coins, the seeds of intention that you're planting right now in the life of your child, and this is something magically, karmically, take it from any perspective you want, only a mother can do this, because after all, your child was part of your own body, your own physical self, so you have power over your child. So plant these seeds of miracles into the life of your child and they will get help. Now for other people, those of you who don't resonate with the mother situation, well, it represents your inner Venus, your self-worth. Something that you are actually very, very good at, something that makes you valuable, something that makes you truly attractive, not just as an earthly physical being, as in your physical body, neither just as a professional, but simply as a soul. And a soul can not just attract other souls, but it can also attract help or anything from the divine planes. But there is a big requirement. You need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in your worth. You need to strongly be aligned with the reason that you weren't bestowed that gift, whatever it is that makes you valuable, for no reason. That which is here manifested on earth, well, that also has an ethereal, a divine counterpart. somewhere in the ether that is meant to be part of you. So right now, focusing on that, spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, in any way possible, will make certain things happen in the now. Whatever you might need will be attracted to you, and this is a period when this principle works the best, because you are also a mother to your own being, regardless of your gender. Your primary task in this earth, well, it is to nurture your being, to take care of your being, to keep your being safe, both physically but also in any other possible way, emotionally, socially, and to have your basic needs met so that you can thrive in your life. Maybe not all areas of life, maybe just even one, but thriving can do a lot of good for the integrity of one's being. So you simply need to be a good mother to yourself, believe in yourself, cheer yourself, if this makes sense, as your mother would. And look, the 7 of coins, the 8 of coins reversed, and the 3 of swords reversed. It can do a lot of good in your life, both materially and also emotionally, because most probably you might have had certain heartbreaks, you might have had moments of mistrust when people really let you down, when whatever makes you truly valuable, your special gift in life, was not appreciated, was not taken as something infinitely beautiful and valuable. Or you might have seen the example of other people, those who have the same skill, talent, or do the same thing as you do, those who basically are fellow souls embodying the same archetype, the same role as you do, and you might have seen that they're so successful, they do it with such great ease, and they're so appreciated and loved, and you're not, or quite the opposite, you're unappreciated, unloved. It's a big struggle for you, even though your gift compared to theirs is much more pure. It is much more Venusian. It's not just a gift, but it is also beauty. It contributes to the beauty of who it is that you are. That's what makes it more valuable. But this is where, the universe kind of protects its values. Anyone is willing to risk losing an imitation ring or jewelry or a gem or whatever, but definitely not when it is the proper thing, as in a true diamond. Anyone would, basically lock it in a safe, and that's why you might be feeling a little bit isolated, unappreciated, unheard, unseen by others, because the universe protects that value that you possess. But it is moments like right now, when this inner Venus is so active, when let's say the shining and the purity, the high quality of the gem that you are on the soul level shines so brightly that it can catch anyone's eye. So this is your moment to just use it to improve your life any possible way. Like the 7 of coins, Saturn in Taurus, it can be delayed gratification, where the fruits are still on the tree and you go with empty baskets to pick them. You had the patience to wait until those fruits are ripe, so it is basically a reward for your wisdom. Delayed gratification, that can be one of the biggest feats of self-discipline that one can possibly do for the self. Or the 7 of coins reversed. Your future, your professional future, financial future, career, anything that has to do with it, can change in the sense of improvement miraculously overnight. Exactly for the reason because you're not wishing a big life change for no rational or logical reason. You have a lot of work, a lot of creativity or whatever that you're good at behind you, maybe even a lot of years. So of course a miracle can happen because the universe has so much to work with. Whose life did you make more beautiful through your work and talent or skill, or that inner Venus of yours that can in a second just return into your life? And the Three of Swords reversed. Heal the disappointment, heal the low self-worth, the low self-esteem, the heartache. You can basically have your peace, your share of the appreciation, honors that those people who you look up to, as I said, those who are fellow holders of the same archetype, you can have the same love, the same appreciation that they have. So basically just allow this Venusian empowerment to attract everything that you need in your life right now. Whatever you can, big or small, even if it's just a thank you, even if it's just, I really appreciate your work, how beautiful you are as a soul, as a being, etc. Any little energy of appreciation actually helps. And you know, the Three of Swords reversed, it can truly heal that broken heart of yours. And for other people, you know, it can really make you attract a suitable partner in your life. Maybe someone who was a beneficiary of your work, skill, talent, has like feelings for you, but your low self-worth kind of blocked them from expressing that. They might have felt like, what chances do I really have? When she or he, as in you, were so immersed into that trying to desperately prove yourself kind of energy. So basically just allow this love, ultimately Venus's love, self-love, self-appreciation, self-worth, the inner Venus, to bring what you need into your life as in right now. This concludes your reading. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, bye for now. Hello everyone who has chosen the third pile. For you guys, the greatest strength that you possess in the now is depicted by the Chariot. Now this is a little bit, tricky and philosophical, because the Chariot ultimately represents a goal that you have in your soul. I'm not really sure how to... This might be like a karmic purpose, something that you need to do for yourself. This might be like a project that you were and still are very passionate about, or you really believe in this, you really want to give it your energy. This can be like something spiritual, for example. This can also be, for some people, finding a partner, regardless if it's a romantic partner or someone like a friend, an ally, associate, a collaborator, who is just like a completion of yours. Whatever this Chariot represents, you might not be able to do it alone, so you need someone. And because this is like an energy of a purpose or something that you have to do, it is something constructive, creative, regardless of the nature of it. It kind of sucks in all your virtues, all your innate strength. It is basically feeding on your being and with everything in it, in the most positive sense, of course. And it might be the case that some of you guys actually started this already. Maybe some of you guys initiated whatever this is 7 months ago and it's still ongoing. The Chariot, it's still on track. Sometimes it's slower. Sometimes it has to stop for a rest or for a reconfiguration of the journey. Your inner GPS resets. Other times there are big leaps. Other times there are, jumps where you overcome a lot of obstacles and really go ahead. And naturally, when we have such a powerful Pluto and Mercury trine, of course it is that big goal of yours that will have all of this energy, all of this empowerment. So what I'm picking up here is that regardless of what that goal is, well, this might be a moment when you can take a leap, a jump, have a moment of fast forward, where even if you might not get to the finish line, to completion, you still have the chance to, how should I say, accelerate greatly towards your destination, saving you a lot of time, even karmically. There are moments in life when divine timing cannot be modified slower or faster, regardless of what it is that we do. It is just the way it is. But there are other moments in life when we do actually have a moment of opening, when we can basically navigate through time as well, leaping into the future, skipping certain time frames and moving that much closer to completion. And that moment might be right now. And the way that you feel this empowerment might be simple. You might just feel an inner calling to just focus either mentally, emotionally, just daydream, whatever this involves, on that big goal of yours. You might desire it much greater than you do at any other time. It is almost like you're carried away by desires, but it's a really gentle energy. It is not like obsession, frustration. It is almost like a divine allure when you just feel that something is going on. Now, for those of you for whom this chariot energy is like a real project, like something palpable, a plan, a collaboration, professional, something to do with your work, creativity, arts, whatever, well, you might get very soon an opening. This Princess of Cups represents an opportunity, an invitation, or maybe a really, really good inspirational idea of what you need to do to actually accomplish it. And with this Nine of Swords reversed, you are a little bit afraid, you're a little bit anxious, because maybe what you're inspired to do is either outside of your comfort zone, as in you really have to express yourself or do some kind of gesture or something, even like signing a contract, going to a job interview, going to any interview, but not as an introverted person, not really shy and held back, but you really have to be your bravest self, so extrovert in a certain degree, and you might not find that very comfortable. It's not that you cannot do it, it's not that you don't have it within you, but you might not really, trust people's judgments, how they perceive you, how your message, speech, or whatever comes through. You might feel a little bit shy, but that shyness and whatever, produces these fears is actually justified. So it's not irrational, it's not self-defeating thoughts or anything like that. It's quite rational because it is a possibility, but at the same time you have nothing really to lose except, your comfort and that energy that you put into it. But because it's reversed, well, you already made the decision to step out of your comfort zone or take this risk or do whatever you need to do. Especially that the Princess of Cups, sometimes it is the primal karmic representation of the wish fulfillment, where a true wish fulfillment would be the Nine of Cups, where your wish is almost handed down to you from the divine forces. But with the Princess of Cups, it is like a tiny spark that can turn into a blaze, into an inferno, but you need to actually do something with it. As in, if the Nine of Cups is a genie in a bottle, then the Princess of Cups is the map that can show you where to find that magical lamp or bottle to evoke the genie, if you know what I mean. So you have to take it seriously first of all, follow up the trail on the map, decipher it, dig out the lamp, and then rub it. But this is also perfectly true if that chariot represents like a big spiritual purpose of yours, to learn to do this or that, or to embody something, manifest something, where that something might actually be metaphysical, paranormal, magical, not really down to earth. So that's why, of course you're a little bit afraid because what are the chances? But the cards tell you that if you have a chance this year, well, it's this period, this autumn maybe, and it begins right now. Or if this Chariot means that you wish a partner, need a partner of any kind, romantic partner, or simply an ally, a helper, a collaborator for a project. If you're an artist, another artist. This is when you can truly get your message across. So simply express yourself however you can. The Princess of Cups again. Your intuition is gonna guide you. That is the map that you need to follow, where you find the genie in the bottle. And ultimately, the star, that's self-explanatory. It is hope, it is hope fulfilled. It is something that actually makes you believe in that chariot, in your purpose, because it's half manifested. It is half done. There is no turning back anymore. So everything points to your success, your triumph, etc. This is where your journey, what the chariot has to take, is no longer under a shroud of mystery, in the sense that, will it be possible? Will I make it? Is it going to happen? This is where it's very clear that you're already more than halfway across. You're already there. So the success is not under a shroud of mystery. Only the fine details of how, when, where, in which form, etc. So the star is shining on your sky. The light of hope, the power of hope, the future, the optimism, everything that has to fuel that chariot with faith. The chariot can be seen as a dual energy, where, let's say, like instinct meets ration and they collaborate. Faith meets emotional empowerment and they are very, very good bedfellows. So you have everything to drive that to fuel that chariot of yours, to leap it towards your destination, regardless if that is love, seeking for a partner, seeking for a collaborator, or a big spiritual purpose, or a project, or a very palpable thing that you want to accomplish, like a job, a career, learning how to do something. If you have any kind of self-employed kind of work, it can mean a moment of big success. So basically this means do what you are inspired to do. Be extroverted to a certain degree. Dare to step out of your comfort zone. Dare to risk, if the risk is just your image or how people perceive you. If you're misunderstood, well, you have really nothing to lose. And of course, the Nine of Swords reversed. You already battled your fears. You already overcame your fears. So why stop now? Be brave, be bold, and follow your dreams, the star. Well, this concludes what the cards have to say for you, Pile 3. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, bye for now. Hello everyone who has chosen the fourth pile. For you guys, the card which depicts where your greater strength lies in the now. It is the Eight of Wands. Now the energy of the Eight of Wands, in the sense of our topic, simply means the power of belief, the power of higher thinking, the power of your own personal worldview, life view, and your own unique philosophies, your non-rational type of thinking, if this makes sense. And for some people, this can also have certain religious principles mixed into this. But when I say religious, it is really not the dark side of religion, fanaticism, dogma, etc., but actually the inspirational side, the beautiful side, that which makes you aim for the stars. Like, for example, here are certain examples that can actually show you what it means, like divine justice. It doesn't matter if earthly justice failed us, the divine, however you look at it, can make things right. Because the Eight of Wands is the symbolism of Mercury and Sagittarius, and that can also mean justice, the law, legislation, court cases, etc. Another example, It can also represent relationships, connections, communication, even contracts, from an international perspective, as in with foreigners, foreign countries, foreign cultures. A foreigner, like an offer or something, may come from another country, not necessarily from the country that you're in. Or it can also represent great distance, where even if it's in your country or culture, it's like from the opposite side of the region where you live, for example. So in either way, it is long distance. Another expression of the Eight of Wands is very, very quick, spontaneous, instant judgment. In the sense that maybe something like a lightning bolt out of nowhere appears in your life. It may come through so very randomly, unexpectedly, and there and then in that moment, you have to make a judgment. Do I accept it, go with it, or how do I react to it? What do I do with this? And based on that very quick, instantaneous judgment, something greater unfolds. So basically, regardless of what this means to you personally, it is still something sudden, and it still needs your judgment, if that makes sense. For you to judge a situation or something according to your own moral value systems, etc., according to your own worldviews, perceptions of life, your own personal philosophies. And this is where the religious element can come into play, because that can greatly help you make this judgment or decision. Because, religious philosophy is based on a certain kind of morality. So, if you might be questioning if this is moral or that is moral, a more religious approach can very quickly answer your question. And of course, every kind of religion is based on ancient wisdom, especially the non-dogmatic part. So of course there is guidance there for everyone, especially if it's moral guidance. Like, let me just give you a very simple example. Do not steal. Well, you cannot really question the wisdom of this, the applicability of this from any perspective possible. But at the same time, because it's one's energy, it is based on something that you asked the universe, another person, or something that you desire to have in your life or to do in your life, or something to change in your life. And it is now when the first signs of that are going to appear. But of course, this is where it's not very straightforward, because this might be just a potential fix, a potential solution, a potential answer, a potential, let's say, guidance, whatever it is that you asked for, what you needed, what you even contemplated. So that's why you have to make this choice, this judgment, if you go with it, or better wait for another opportunity. Or maybe if something truly appears in your life, an offer, a chance, an opportunity, it maybe that is just a little seed, a little spark, and you have to fill in the rest. Like how you will use it, how you will integrate it in your life, how will you make it work, what shape you give to it. Like, let me just give you an example. You need something and there is this person coming out of nowhere just telling you, okay, I'll help you, just tell me what to do. And then you will need to tell that person what to do, what you will ask, and how you will kind of instruct that person is what you're ultimately gonna get. So that's why it's your judgment. Or let me give you yet another example, because in many cases, sometimes the Eight of Wands is actually the card of love. And specifically it is when, Cupid shoots the arrow, all of the wands represent, the intention, the arrows of desire. And one arrow accidentally hits you. or one of your arrows, the desires of your heart, goes somewhere and finds a person. And the person, one way or another, out of nowhere shows up. I'm here and I'm interested. And then it is when you need to make a judgment. Is this person good for you? Is this actually the answer to your prayer, or is it like a karmic temptation? This is why you will have to use your philosophical energies, your worldview, etc., to make a clear judgment of what this manifestation or whatever is. Is it suitable for you? Can you work with it? And if so, what it is that you need to do. But also, because, this 8 of Wands is Sagittarius energy, you are actually quite good at that. You have a very strong philosophical mind. And, most of the time you can very easily, much more easily than other people, decipher karma. If something manifests either in your life or in the life of another person, you can very easily interpret that and just understand where it comes from, why it happened, what's the lesson here, what are the dangers, etc. So you're actually quite good at that. And at the same time, this isn't the first time in your life when something like this happens. So in a way, you have experience of having to make one big judgment spontaneously, instantly, and that judgment changes your life. It changes not just your daily routines, but a lot of things that you really need to work on, upgrade, change, transform, especially if that change or transformation also means the elimination of something which you don't no longer want to have in your life, something that you really wish to get out of, eliminate, terminate, stop. It one way or another actually leads to your freedom. This might also represent that it's not actually you personally who gets this 8 of Wands moment. Maybe it is someone who is a permanent part of your life, like a partner, parent, child, soulmate, best friend, someone who you share everything with. In which case, you will still be there making that judgment along with that person. So it really affects you in every possible way as well. But now let's see how you can use this energy. And we have the Ace of Swords again. Quick, sudden communication, truth, a breakthrough, an idea, an offer. Take the swords as the power of the mind. Maybe a word, a communication, data on the internet, or something where you can cut through reality. Then we have the Magician, again Mercury. Being able to control something which was not under your control until then. So basically whatever that Ace of Swords is, it gives you control of things in your life. Control of information, a decision, a choice. As I said, if someone asks you, I'm here to help, what do you want me to do? That's your control, because they will do it, but you need to tell them exactly the plan or what it is that you need to accomplish. And finally, death, a big transformation. Either you get rid of something that was blocking you for a long time, either this leads to a big life change, or you have to leave what you thought was your normality until that moment behind. So for those of you who have chosen the 4th pile, this can potentially be quite big and life-changing and sudden. Maybe you move away. You move away from a country. You move away from a city. You move to a different region or a big lifestyle change. It can also be something to do with someone from overseas, a foreigner. May that be like a business offer, job offer, love offer, of course, or any kind of partnership and collaboration. I can't really detect the area of life because this will influence all areas of your life. So it is something that you kind of asked for, maybe prayed for, hoped for. you one way or another did plant seeds of intention into the universe. As I said again, the Eight of Wands is like arrows of intention shot everywhere in all directions. And even if one arrow reaches bullseye, a target, that still manifests as a solution, as an option, as a choice. But you need to make the judgment. For example, if you're single and looking and someone pops up, and maybe that person is actually quite ideal for you, but it's a long distance relationship, your judgment, your choice, your decision, how you judge the situation will affect your future, because if you say yes, well, that means you won't be able to find and seek partners from anywhere else. You close the door and you go with that person, even if they are at great distance. And the Death card, well, your life will change after that naturally, because, there will be a need for a visit, and who knows, maybe this will lead to someone, either you or that person, having to relocate permanently. Or for other people, maybe it's a job offer or something, but that is so unusual compared to what you're used to do with. Maybe it's like it will need a lifestyle change, even if it makes you happy, even if it's abundant, even if it's in your very best interest, it will still change everything in your life, your daily routines, and that is not easy. So you might have to judge, are you ready for this? Can you take this on? Can you actually live it right now? Or, a totally different example, Eight of Wands, justice, legal stuff. Out of, nowhere, somehow, some way, an information comes that you're entitled legally to something. Something from your distant past, or maybe even recent past, but you're entitled to it, but you need to go and get it. Which will require travels, which will require, with this COVID shot, passport kind of thing, you can immediately see the complication here, and the Magician. How do you manage that? Maybe you need to get a lawyer, an expert, a specialist, etc. Or you can make the judgment that, no, it's not worth the effort for me. Thank you, but no thanks. This can also represent some kind of, let's say, inheritance. Something that someone passes down to you. But, don't get me wrong, they don't have to die for that. Maybe they will quit something and will pass it down to you, or ask you, do you want this or not? Or someone retires and they give you their position, their place, whatever that means, either professionally or in any other way. Or it can also be that someone, for, any reason, they might feel that they want to do something for you. They want to make your wish come true, if this makes sense, and they just do it. And maybe that is where your judgment comes into play, because of course you will ask yourself why, how, and it will require your higher thinking and life philosophies if you can accept it, deal with it, use it, or better not. Well, this concludes what the cards have to say for you, Pile 4. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, bye for now. And to finish my reading, I would just like to make a special announcement. Some of the content that I create, especially the card readings and the updates, are very, very versatile and adaptable. Tarot is a language and it has a certain kind of infinity to it. So if you have any special topics, subjects, even questions that you would like me to take a look at and possibly or potentially come up with an answer, any kind of channeling work where you want to contact a spirit guide, an entity, a deity, or whatever, except it's not something from the abyss, because I don't think I want to do that. or would like any kind of guidance with any spiritual topic, question, even philosophy, feel free to always express your preferences in the comments, because if anyone would like to hear about a special theme, subject, question, or whatever, I can very quickly work with that. And you know, what might interest you can also inspire other listeners, and of course me as well, because I always learn from every single reading. Or the same way astrology can be very adaptable. You know, many things in existence have an astrology behind them, so I can take a look at so very many different things. So express your preferences, your curiosities, or whatever topic you would like me to analyze. And you know, I'm also a paranormal researcher, so if you have any questions about the paranormal or certain themes that might interest you, feel free to express yourself in the comments. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm really looking forward to reading your comments with your suggestions and questions. Thank you again. Until next time, bye for now.